first off, thanks everybody for coming, taking the time today to spend your afternoons with us here. CTV undoubtedly is the future of what we see as the next step in pharma. So first off, again, thank you so much. Again, this is an extraordinary event. This is the first of hopefully many different events and forums that we'll be hosting, talking about the intersection of health data and health advertising. So going to be a great event today, and we have a lot of really great speakers. So first off, again, so welcome to the event. Again, we have tons of great content here for you. We're going to be focusing on what seems to be the topic that's permeating every discussion that we have as a company, connected television. Today, there's never been more opportunities to reach patients and providers in media that's obviously more fragmented and gated. Media technology continues to evolve and change, and those technologies are really starting to be embraced by marketers like yourselves. It's undisputed that CTV will continue to evolve and change, and we're going to have better opportunities to engage healthcare providers and patients. The disruption that CTV is creating is immense. CTV, I think we all feel, is the new brand battlefield. It's a war that's going to be fought with technology and data and with partnerships and people. So the brands who seize the opportunity to lean in, test and learn and build relationships with innovative partners are going to be the ones that are best positioned for the long term, especially many folks here. The conversations I have with all of our marketers always discuss CTV in some way. We cannot be screaming louder as a company about the opportunity that we see with CTV going forward. I really look at this as being pharma's opportunity to shed that history and that reputation of being a laggard in the space. The stakes have never been higher for us to embrace this channel and the format and the impact it can have for our marketers. So what you'll see today, hopefully through many of the different panels that we have, is that our industry has the tools, it has the people, it has the product that will allow us to unlock the great value in the data that we have as an industry. And our goal today will be to show you how. So I'm really excited to bring on a lot of folks today. But before, let's kick off CTV by the numbers and set the table for our panelists. So streaming undoubtedly has been exploding. And this is in no other demographic than 55 and older. In fact, I just gave my grandmother a Roku. And so that's, sorry, LG. So, but she's now plugged in and she's streaming more often than not. And it's been amazing to see her move from the Netflix DVD. Like, she actually was mailing in DVDs, and now she's actually using streaming, and she won't stop. It's actually pretty incredible. Over 2/3 of Americans today are streaming, and 90% of those 2/3 are actually streaming ad-supported content. Audiences are clearly moving into more targeted and more measurable environments, and marketers are following those eyeballs. Earlier this year, actually, Comcast and Freewheel came out with a report and a recommendation that 10 to 40% of linear TV budgets should be reallocated to CTV. And for an industry that spent $5 billion this year alone on television, the ramifications of that recommendation, those changes, are immense. So over half of that CTV investment is going to be transacted programmatically this year. So when you think about the opportunity with programmatic, I mean, clearly our numbers have spoke for themselves. Last year, CTV grew 25-fold on our platform. That was the fastest growing channel and segment of any segments on our platform. And the evidence, again, was super strong that we needed to do something big and bold to enable marketers to approach this channel more efficiently and more smartly with products. So it begs the question, why is programmatic the superior choice? And why is the future of programmatic so important to unlocking the true value of CTV? It's our belief here at DeepIntent that programmatic is the only logical solution for doing CTV right. The value of real-time data decisioning is the only way that we can unlock that value at scale. Our vision as a company is to have a platform that arms marketers with the tools that bring together data and CTV media for planning, activation, measurement, and optimization, all in real time. And that's why as a company, we've invested so heavily in the people, the product, and the data that's going to make that vision a reality. So, of course, we're not blind to some of the challenges that exist in the space. It's a nascent space. And those challenges consist of frequency capping, incremental reach, fraud, and opaque supply chains. Those are things that we can help solve by using data and technology, but also the great partnerships that we have in play. And so at the end of the day, we really are trying to create technology and product that's going to give that control back to the marketer so that they can approach this channel similar to how they approach the other channels that they currently activate on in digital. And of equal importance is the opportunity to measure precisely at scale and ultimately apply those measurements in real time to help improve the personalization that we can unlock in CTV. And personalization is a really, really key concept here, right? That's ultimately what we envision as the end goal of what we're trying to do, better, more personalized advertising. And I use this analogy a lot, and I think it's actually more true than ever. Programmatic really is the engine that powers personalization. The ability to do real-time, individual-based decisioning in real time is immensely important. But like any engine, you need oil, right? And that oil is health data. So platforms that can safely combine that data with the media and deliver, to basically build that into a platform, are the only ones that are going to be able to deliver upon that personalization. But that's not enough alone. 80% of CTV inventory today is controlled by less than 10 companies. So let that sink in. We have to find ways to partner with these companies, right, to help bring both value to the supply as well as value to the buy side and the marketers. So that's what we have been investing in. Again, that was one of the big reasons why we did the deal with LG, to help bring some of those technologies to the foreground. And so there's actually some interesting stats up here, but when it comes to television, I always, as obviously the CEO of this company, people always ask me, hey, what does DeepIntent do? I'm like, okay, when's the last time you turned on like broadcast news, like local news? It's like, okay, well, yeah, how many pharma ads did you see that were irrelevant for you? And honestly, that's what we're going after. Like, to me, that epitomizes the opportunity that we have as a company to apply better data and better targeting to make more personalized advertising experiences. I can't think of a better way to really explain that to investors and friends, my mother, my father, my grandmother, when they ask me what I do at DeepIntent. I'm making those ads less shitty. But that said, all joking aside, the real value here, though, is connecting these dots. 51% of patients that we surveyed last year, they find that the ads are when they're more relevant to their own medical conditions, they remember that. So that's important that really proves out the personalization effect. But then more importantly is that they're 50% more likely to actually take a treatment when they recognize it from advertising. So it's all about getting in front of the right patient, which ultimately drives a higher ROI in the back end. And that's exactly the promise here of CTV. So for the clients who've really leaned into CTV on DeepIntent's platform, the impact is already being felt. And there's some really good stats here that I wanted today. You guys are the first to see. And so thank you to our analytics team. John, thank you for putting this together. We have combined the power of DeepIntent outcomes, which is our measurement capability, with the power of LG's data with ACR to make the first assessment of what the differential is, what the comparison is of the performance of linear CTV at a household level to CTV. So linear versus CTV. And probably unsurprisingly, some of these results are incredible. We're seeing that CTV can deliver up to 4 times the audience quality than linear can. Again, proving the data-powered decisioning. We also see that conversions are up to 5 times higher when you're looking at MBRXs. This is truly a quantum leap in the capability and proves out the value of CTV. CTV, in many ways, you can think of it as the personal computer compared to linear being the typewriter. The experience that this is going to power is it's a whole nother ballpark of what we can provide and the value that we can personalize. So that said, I do want to take a step back, and I do want to recognize that CTV still is nascent. Linear has a very important part in the overall media mix and will for the future. But like anything, technology will continue to disrupt that. We will see a convergence in the marketplace where marketers don't have to pick or choose between scale and precision. They'll have the opportunity to get both here through one platform. So these are the critical ingredients. Again, partners, the technology, leaning in, testing. These are the only way that you as a marketer will be able to effectively run your campaigns in the future and learn what's working or not. So I'm going to turn it over to some of those partners now, but let's roll up our sleeves and have a really good conversation, a lot of really good conversations about the future of CTV. It's going to be an exciting time today. Thank you all for coming again, and we'll have some good conversations about how we can be our best when it comes to CTV.